You have to have tough skin if you are coming to medical school. Most people did not know what they were getting themselves into, and that's why I'm doing this video. If you don't pay attention to what you are being taught now, the clinicals might be difficult for you. As a doctor, you should not be guessing. So if you don't know it, you don't know it. My name is Mommy Duejai. I am a 500 level medical student. Yes. And I'm a girl sent by God to help you shine your light. So on this channel, we discuss a lot of things, from faith to lifestyle to personal development and then medicine. Yeah. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about medical school. There's a lot about medical school that you do not know unless you get in, and even when you get in, you do not know until you get to that level. Like, there's a lot about 500 level you won't know until you get to 500 level. So in this video, I'm going to be spilling all the tea. So who is this video for? If you are interested about what happens in medical school, if you are thinking of going to medical school, and if you're in medical school and are just looking at what waits for me in front, yeah, this video is for you. Let's get straight into the video. Once again, you're welcome, and if you have not hit the subscribe button, kindly do so as soon as you hear this, right? There's a lot in store. If you see my previous videos, I mean, there's so much to learn, to glean from, and all of that. So yeah, medicine is a 6-year course. I'm going to be speaking from the point of a Nigerian public federal university, and I'm saying this because the way medical school is run across different schools in Nigeria, there can be a little bit of differences here and there, but overall the expectations are the same. Sometimes the curriculum, they are the same. Yeah, so if you are in any other medical school and maybe anything is different, you might just want to drop it in the comment section. Medical school is a 6-year course. Why am I saying 6 years? But I've been in this school for 6 years. No, I've been in this school for 6 years. Yes, 6 years. I entered 2019 and this is 2025 and I'm not done yet. So make of that what you will, but ideally it should be a 6-year course. So I'm going to be going level by level, what to expect, what you should do, and challenges you might face. So 100 level, you are with everybody else, right? Yes, you are in medicine, but you're going to be studying Faculty of Science courses, all the courses that you read for JAMB majorly. They're going to be doing physics, chemistry, biology, but the biology, they divided it for us into zoo and botany, right? So we did zoo, we did botany. We also did some special courses like use of English. We did sociology too, sociology, whatever. Sociology, yes, SSC. We did all of that, and you must pass. And the pass mark is 40, right? But if you fail any of those, you would not be going into 200 level. So in medicine, 100 level for my school, there is no maybe you carry over a course. You can't carry over a course in 100 level. Yes, you have to pass everything. It might be easy for some people, but it might be difficult for some people. So yeah, 100 level. If you're in 100 level medicine, I will advise you to enjoy your life. Read, pass, but also make the most of your time, because that's the freest time you'll ever get. When you're at 200 level, you'll be doing anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. Those are the 3 main courses that you are going to do. In my school, you'll register for some other courses like behavioral sciences, community medicine, and all of that stuff, but you won't do it until later. So for these first 3 years, for this 200 level, you're going to be doing just these 3 courses. Then you're going to be doing these 3 courses for 200 and 300 level. But in my school, which is not like in other medical schools, you will do a promotional exam to get into 300 level. In schools like University of Ibadan, you don't do your promotional exam until you get to 300 level, like the end of 300 level. But in my school, where we do 200 level promotional exam to enter 300 level, and then 300 level promotional exam to enter 400 level. So anatomy, physiology, biochemistry is a lot. And it can be somewhat tasking, somewhat overwhelming, but you want to make sure that you read. What will you do in medicine if not reading? So it can take as long as 12 plus 9 months. It can take as long as 18 to 21 months to complete preclinical. So we call 200 level and 300 level preclinicals here. So, but this is an important phase. because if you don't pay attention to what you're being taught now, the clinicals might be difficult for you. And the thing about medicine is every knowledge is important. Whatever they teach you in 200 level is important for 300 level. Like, it's a stacking up of knowledge. It's not like other courses that, maybe when you're done with 100 level, you have the liberty to like throw away what you learned in 100 level and then just focus on 200 level courses. If you don't know it very well, you have to go back to it to go and learn, because it's very important. So in anatomy, you're learning the basics of the structures of human bodies. You're talking about the muscles, the bones, the tendons, the blood, the arteries, the veins, the innervation, everything. It can be interesting if you like all these things, but it can be annoying too. But of course, if you have God by your side, He will see you through. So you will do 200 level and 300 level. Then in my school, when you get to 400 level, you do the you cross over into clinicals, right? And there's usually this ceremony, the word code ceremony, where the professors, the consultants, they induct you into the clinical part of medicine. While the clinical part of medicine is interesting, I mean, for me, it's more interesting than anatomy, biochemistry, physiology. It's also daunting because you can't afford to make mistakes, right? And yes, one thing I didn't mention is that for us in our medical school, there is negative marking, and the negative marking stems from the fact that as a doctor, you should not be guessing, right? You cannot afford to play with people's lives. So even from our 200 level, we are marked down if we guess. Like, let's say you pick an answer and it is wrong, they will subtract from your mark. Sometimes it can be 0.25, sometimes it can be 0.5, right? Sometimes it can even be a whole one. And then for the exams, yes, in 200 level and 300 level, you are doing the written, right? You're doing the written, you're doing the theory, you're doing the OBJ, you're doing the theory, you're doing the practicals, and then you are doing the Viva. Viva can be terrifying sometimes because you are facing your teachers face to face. Like, they will ask you questions and then you will answer them. So if you don't know it, you don't know it. It's very funny, but you have to have tough skin if you're coming to medical school, because they can bring questions from anywhere. It's not like theory questions that you can see and you'll be like, oh, I don't know this, and then you would come back to it later. No, you have to answer there and then. And if you don't answer, up to satisfaction, you can fail. In medical school, the pass mark is 50. And where I school, if you don't get up to 50, okay, let's say you're 200 level, 300 level, you're doing 3 courses. If you don't get up to 50 in one, you would fail, right? You fail and you have to do it again. You have to like resit for that exam. They call it resit. You have to rewrite that exam again. So they can give you like 3 weeks to 1 month to prepare to write that exam again. So if you fail 2 courses, you are going to repeat the class. So instead of going to the next class, you are going to do the next class. You are going to do the class you just finished, or you're supposed to leave again. So let's say maybe when you're writing 200 level exam, you didn't pass 2 courses, you're going to repeat 200 level again. However, if you failed in all 3, now this is not peculiar to all medical schools. Some medical schools, even if you fail all 3, you can repeat the class. But if you fail all 3 in my school, you're going to be withdrawn from college. So you're going to maybe have to go to other departments, any department of choice basically. So yeah, that's how it works. So if you see medical students crying and all of that, and to get that 50 marks, you don't mention negative marking. They will remove your mark. Sometimes some marks are subjective. Some marks have close marking. Close marking is when you there's a highest you can get and there's a lowest you can get as far as you write something. So what they tell us sometimes is that just write something, at least you can get 2. Let's say it's over 20. Let's say that question is over 20. I think in close marking they can put 2, right, as the lowest mark. But even if you write heaven and earth, you bring the earth down, everything, the highest you can get is 16. Can you imagine? Sometimes it's unfair. So many things that go in medical school is unfair. So where was I? I was at, the going from preclinicals to clinicals phase. So in 400 level for us, we do community medicine, behavioral science, and biostatistics, yes, for like 3 months. And then we now go into 400 level proper. Now, 400 level is the class that is dreaded the most by medical students. I'll tell you why. Because it is a huge change, a huge switch from preclinicals to clinicals. So in clinicals now, you're with your stethoscope, you're with your word codes, you're with, all the shiny things that medical students have, right? But the work too is also a lot. Welcome to 400 level. You are now in clinicals, but then that's where the real work starts. You're going to go to the hospital, you're going to teach you. So you're going to be doing pathology, pharmacology, and at the same time, you're going to be having clinical rotations. Now, pharmacology is like the science of drugs. I'm going to be learning drugs. Drugs. You're going to be learning, how they act in the body, how, their effects work, their side effects, their indications, what to use them for, their contraindications, and all of that. Think of all the drugs in this world and, imagine people learning them. I don't think that I can explain how daunting it is unless like you enter yourself, but then this is just like an overview, right? And then pathology. Pathology is science of diseases or study of diseases. So you're studying every disease possible. And it's funny because they're diseases in this world, man. There are diseases in this world, man. And sometimes they usually say that some of these diseases are rare. In fact, many of them are rare, but you have to study them because what if sometimes I ask, like, why do we have to study them? But I realize that what if it's just one person that has that disease? How would you feel if, because you know the pathology, because you read this disease, how would you feel if you are the one that is able to save their lives, right? And the thing about medicine is reading never ends. No matter how qualified you become, reading never ends. So if you want to get into medicine, get it now. Reading never ends. There is always an exam. There is always an exam. So in 400 level, I did pathology, study of diseases, pharmacology, study of drugs, and then I did my clinical rotations. Pathology was divided into 4. So we had chemical pathology. So we studied diseases based on the biochemistry of the body, right? I don't even know how to explain this thing. Hematology and immunology, diseases based on the blood. Immunology, diseases based on the disease system. Microbiology and parasitology, diseases maybe that are caused by microorganisms and diseases caused by parasites. Then the other one was morbid anatomy, like diseases that had to do with destroyed structures, for lack of a better word, just bad structures in the body, right? So everything disease, right, but it was divided into parts. So how it was here is that we're divided into groups, and each group had a 4-week rotation of like 11 different postings. So in the morning by 7:30 a.m. we'll go for a pharmacology class, I think for 1 hour. Yes, 1 hour every day. Then we had clinical series where they were just telling us things about diseases, how to manage them, and all of that. The things that we'll see when we get to the hospital, right? That's another 1 hour. Then we'll now go for our posting, right? So if you are in hematology, you go for a hematology posting. If you're in immunology, so not everybody was in the same posting at the same time. You just have like group members. I think 13 or 14 people in a group. And I think that's good because there are upsides and downsides to it, to be very honest. For the smaller groups, it's easier to teach. And the lecturers will make sure that you get it, you understand before they release you, right? But the problem is that my group now, there were some things they didn't teach us that they taught the other group. And I didn't realize until I got to the exam hall. Can you imagine? So there are upsides to it, there are downsides to it, because different lecturers are the ones taking us. But that's by the way. So part 4 was a very, very long year. It was, I think, 16 months in total. And the thing about medical school is they don't give breaks. Except maybe God enters their mind or something. They don't give breaks. They don't give breaks. So if you are running a 16-month year, you are going to be in school for 16 months. From when you start to when you finish, when you write your final exams, right? And then after the exam, they can give you 1 week break before you start the next class. Or maybe wait till when your results are out before you start the next class. Is that life? So if you catch medical school people ranting, don't blame them. It's not their fault. Most people did not know what they were getting themselves into. And that's why I'm doing this video. I did medicine and surgery. So the way we did it in my school, for 400 level, you don't have to rotate through all the units in medicine or units in surgery. So I think I rotated just 2 units in medicine, each of 4 weeks, then 2 units in surgery, each of 4 weeks. I enjoyed my clinical rotations, I won't lie. I did renal medicine, that's nephrology. I did GI, that's gastroenterology medicine, and I did CTSU, CTSU, and I did pediatric surgery. Very, very top postings because of the doctors there. They were so intentional about us, and I enjoyed, I enjoyed, I enjoyed it. So I think my philosophy for medical school is not to focus on the bad parts, basically because there are a lot of bad parts. There are a lot of stress. There are a lot of not believing in yourself, doubting yourself, doubting your worth, doubting, the stuff that you are made of. But I've decided to focus on the positive side. How people treat me, how I know my stuff, gaining new stuff, helping people, having the knowledge and all of that. So yeah. Then now I'm a 500 level. 500 level so far has been interesting. Very interesting, to be very honest. There's a lot that is demanded of us. Because everybody's like, you guys are going to be house officers soon. I mean, how? How? Because I just started medical school. Time runs by so fast, and you have to like get involved. You have to stay active, alert, right? Because last year I was in clinical one. Now I'm in clinical two. Everybody's telling me I'm going to be a house officer soon. Soon, like 2 years. But then I have to get equipped with the skills and the knowledge and everything and the ethics, right, to manage patients. Because the switch from medical school to doctorship is crazy. It's crazy. I've seen the house officers I work with in this unit I'm currently in, and I'm like, we were in medical school together some months ago, and now you are the doctor here. And I'm just pitying them because while the work is a lot, the switch to is crazy. So, I'm doing obstetrics and gynecology, the part of medicine that takes care of women's reproductive health and, of course, pregnant women. Then I'm doing pediatrics, the part of medicine that deals with children and their subs, mental health, dermatology, radiology, and anesthesiology. I'm done with my subs and they were good. I just feel like the time was short. Yes, I forgot to mention, after it's posting, you're writing an exam. That's a very, very important part. You're writing an exam. So you're writing end of posting. So in 400 level, that was like almost every 4 months. Although there are some postings that does not require you to write an exam, but if you just say 4 months, every 4 weeks you're writing an exam, and that exam is important. Our marks are our marks are divided into smaller fractions, and while they might not seem significant, that 1.25 marks might be all you need to enter 50 and just pass that class, right? So all your marks are important, all exams are important, everything that they say is important. Your logbooks, your practicals, your exams, your in courses, yeah, right, like middle of the semester, middle of the year exams. Me now explaining itself is stressful. So yeah, so yes, you do that. Then 500 level. So I was in subs for like 3 months. In 3 months, I rotated through 4 specialties. Radiology, I spent 2 weeks, wrote an exam after. Anesthesiology, 2 weeks, wrote an exam after. Mental health, I spent 5 weeks, wrote an exam after. And then dermatology, I spent 4 weeks and wrote an exam after. Then now I'm in pediatrics. Pediatrics is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. We had like 2 weeks of block lectures, and hey, they won't finish me with stuff. Imagine learning all the medical conditions that children can have and how to treat them, the drugs to give, and all of that. Imagine learning everything in 2 weeks. I didn't learn everything in 2 weeks. They were trying to give me all the knowledge in 2 weeks, and I will not lie, it was a lot. I've never finished reading everything, and I already completed 1 month in pediatrics. So I'm planning 3 months in pediatrics, and that's all I'm ever going to have till before I become a house officer or an house officer, anyone. And I'm just like, really? But if you don't do it that way, we can spend up to like 100 years in this medical school. That's why I say reading never ends. Even after, what they've taught you in class, you have to do a lot of reading on your own. And so, yeah, after 3 months in pediatrics, I'm going to be going to ONG, do ONG for 3 months, and write my final exam, 500 level. In this pediatrics, we have quite a number of units, and I'm rotating through each of them one week. So last week the week before I did nephrology and neonatology. So nephrology is like pediatric nephrology, kidney diseases in children. Neonatology, the pediatrics of newborn, right? Medicine of the newborns, right? And I did hematology, oncology last week, the blood issues, and then cancers in children and all of that. So this week I'm going to cardiology, heart conditions in children. So that's how we're doing it. And I won't lie to you, while it might look like we're moving, I just feel like I have to do a lot to catch up. Because what they taught us, what I saw, what I'm supposed to know in hematology, oncology, I've not been able to read all of that in the past 1 week? Because yes, in the 1 week there's clinic, there's ward round, and you're also supposed to like clerk your patient and present. I was not even able to present, but you also have to know how to manage your patients. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I've said it's a lot like 1 million times now because it's a lot. So yeah, that's 500 level for you. Yes, I think this is a good point to mention that I have created a new TikTok page dedicated to my medical school chronicles, right? All the terms and everything that I've mentioned in this video that you might not understand, it will be on that page, right? So the link will be somewhere in the description box. So to 600 level final year, you are doing medicine, you are doing surgery, you are doing community health. So community health is the medicine where you look at issues in the community and how it affects the health, right? Let's say stuff like poverty, stuff like policies and laws, the environment, the waste management, and all of that. So you're looking at how doctors can come in. So a lot of health education goes in here, a lot of outreaches, a lot of health promotion, and all of that. So yeah, that's what community health is. Then medicine. I think you're spending like 3 months in medicine. The way it is in pediatrics now, that's the way it's going to be when I'm doing my medicine in 600 level. So 1 week per unit. 1 week per unit, and you are rotating how many units? Say 12 or 13 units. Yeah, something like that. Same thing with surgery. And then after this exam, okay, there is subs too. There's sub specialties, stuff like orthopedics. You're doing, I think, like 4 weeks of orthopedics, 2 weeks of ophthalmology, 2 weeks of ear, nose, and throat. Right? Yes, we will do everything at least to have like the basic knowledge of everything, and then we are right now exam. So exams in medical schools are funny, very funny, um, very funny stuff. So we have picture test. They put a picture on the screen and then ask some questions like maybe what's the diagnosis, how would you manage, how would you treat, what are the drugs you will give, in what conditions, in what age group or population group is this normally seen, and all of that. Then you also do viva where you go face to face with your lecturer. Yes, that's how medical school goes in where, right? So if you have watched this video to this point and you took out one or two things, let me know in the comment section. If you are excited about coming to medical school because of this video, let me know in the comments. If you have more questions to ask, let me know in the comments. And also, if maybe there's something different to your medical school, you have a question to ask, let me know let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to follow my TikTok page, Becoming Dr. D. See you in my next video. Bye.